A video on me screwing up. Well, not really. I just deleted some of the footage before I download it onto my computer. So this is the kind of the bit at the start where I can't actually show what I was doing, but we can talk about it. So I was given some cherries on the local market for free. It was the end of the day. I know the guy who owns the fruit and veg stall, and we have a bit of a chat, laugh and a joke, and occasionally he gives me some free things, and he gives me these free cherries. These are actually cherries. So I didn't want to make some jam with them. I didn't want to make a crumble or a pie or anything like that. I kind of thought what we can do is we can try and make some juice out of them, like I have done in the past. I thought certain fruits are a little bit problematic to get the juice out of them. Certain things like strawberries, kind of more difficult than getting the juice out of blackberries and raspberries. So I just kind of wanted to see about getting the juice out of them. So what I'm going to do, even though I've already done it, because this is the result of it, is I took the cherries, I took the stones out of them, and then I pureed up the pulp, and then I froze it, because that releases the juice from the cherries. It breaks down the cell walls of the cherries and releases the liquid, the water and the flavour. So kind of that's what I did. Pitted them, pureed them, and then froze them. So should we stop the video there, and then we can do the talkie of the frozen bit, and then we can come back and pretend that I didn't delete that bit of video, because if it didn't, well, it happened, but if we don't talk about it, it didn't happen, did it? But anyway, so pureed it down, froze it, and then we'll come back when I've defrosted it, type of thing. Right, cherry pulp has now completely frozen. It's been in the freezer. Certainly wasn't in the fridge. It was definitely in the freezer, and it's been in for 24 hours, which was probably longer than it actually needed, but it's certainly going to have done the what it wanted to do. So we just need to defrost it, and then we'll put it through a cotton cloth. If you want to speed up the process of it defrosting, what you can do is you can get a larger container, put some cold water in, not hot water, just cold water, and then just put the frozen container with the pulp in that container, and the water will dissipate the cold, cooling, letting it defrost quicker. That's if you want to speed up the process. It's not kind of essential. You can just put it in the fridge for 12 hours, something like that. That kind of only take about 12 hours to defrost properly, and then we'll see how much liquid we get out of the cherries. But there we go. That's, it's kind of like a long process, and you can just buy cherry juice. But as always, I'm curious about things. And we've made lots of other juices, and we've made lots of other cordials and alcohols. So we're just going to see if the same kind of process works on cherries as well, because they're all kind of slightly different. Like strawberries are a little bit problematic with getting the juice out of them, whereas other fruits are kind of quite easy. So like raspberries and blackberries, they're kind of quite easy. So I'm just same with blueberries, kind of quite easy to get the juice out of. I'm just curious about cherries, and is it just the same kind of easy to get the juice out of? I'm curious. Someone else has got to be curious about these type of things, or some other people will know, but I'm not going to hunt those videos down. Why would I hunt videos down and watch videos when I could just do it myself? So the cherry juice has been frozen, and it is now defrosted, and as you can see, lots of juice wants to come out of it. There's some pulp, which is still kind of quite solid, and then there's the juice around there as well, which is a lot more than if we just pureed it and put it through some layers of muslin cloth. So it's defrosted fully. We've got a container which we're going to put that's just a sieve with some cloth in it. It's old cloth, and it gets stained because I use it for lots of different types of things. So, but it's clean, so that's the only thing that matters. So we'll just pour the juice through, and then I'll collect the pulp. The juice will come through, and then we'll just let it drain naturally. It's already coming through quite well actually. And then we'll give it a squeeze out later on, once it's naturally kind of come through, and there's just some more bits. Just use fingers. Fingers will be fine. And then we'll decide what we're going to do with the juice. And we'll give it a bit of a taste, but I think I'm going to turn it into cordial. I think, because that's quite a nice thing to do. But we could reduce it down and add vodka to it and create a liqueur, or we could add some like 100% alcohol and turn it into a liqueur that way. I've made videos on that in the past and did a pomegranate liqueur, so we could do the same with the cherry juice, but I think we'll taste it and then we'll probably make a cordial out of it. I think we'll see how we go. Right, so we have some juice out of the cherries. Not that much, but it's nice. I've tasted it, and I think there's not enough kind of juice there just to kind of drink. It seems like a bit of a waste. You could do it, it works, but I kind of think that I'm going to make it into a cordial, which is pretty straightforward. However, that's kind of quite intense flavoured already, and if we look at the pulp left over from the cherries, which looks a bit, you know, like just pulp. In the past, I have reliquidized this with some more water, and then we've managed to get some more flavour out of it. So I think I'm going to do that. So we'll get some more flavour out of it, and then we'll see how much juice we get out of that, and then we'll potentially reduce that juice down, because it won't just be as intense as that. We'll reduce it down on the top of the stove in a pan, get it more intensified, and then we'll get a higher yield to the cherry juice and then the cordial that we kind of make. And by intensifying that, we won't need to reduce that down any kind of more, because it's a great colour. I mean, look at that. That's a beautiful colour, is that? And it kind of it's a nice flavour. So I think yes, I think if we wanted to make a cherry liqueur, we wouldn't need to reduce that. I think I'll probably still do it, so we get like a high yield of. Do the process where we add some water to that and pull it down. Instead of talking about it, I should just do it, if I'm honest. So we'll move that out of the way, because I mucked up the video and we didn't show the bit I don't know why I say we when there's only me. So, and I mucked up the bit where I didn't pulp the cherries down on camera. Well, I did, but I lost it because I was deleting things out of my phone, and I was thinking, because I'm always running out of space on my phone. There's too many apps, there's too many pictures, there's too many videos, too much stuff that I don't really kind of need, and so I'm always forever having to delete things. I know I should get a bigger phone, or a better card in it, but anyway, so get all that juice out, get all that pulp out of there, and then we'll add some water to it. We'll use that cloth again, there's no point not using it, that'll be fine. So we need some water, and we need the liquidizer. It's just it's a bit of a fact. I mean, you can just buy cherry juice, let's be honest, but you can just buy everything. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be better, it's just more interesting. So about that much water to start off with, and then puree it up. A bit more. We're going to reduce it anyway, so it'll be fine. Get a bit more in there as well. So as you can see, it's gone like that. So there is the water in there will take on some more of that cherry flavour and colour. So which is a good thing, which we can actually turn that into get a higher yield from the cordial. I don't know how to do it industrially. It's probably not the type of video that no one's interested in that kind of stuff, I don't think. It might be on one of those programs like How Do They Do That, but it's not kind of, the majority of people aren't kind of interested in that kind of thing. I am, but anyway, so that'll be fine. That there, as always, we bang on the hand because it's plastic and we don't want to break it. Then we've got a container and the sieve, so that can go in there, that can go in there, and then we don't have to wash this. And also, because what's happened is that because the fibres from the and well, pulp fibres from the cherries have got impregnated into the cloth. That means it'll act like a slightly better filter. So this will pass through just that little bit easier. So that there, and then we'll because we don't want to waste. And then we'll just leave that in the fridge, and then we'll get some more juice out of that. Like that. Is it coming through already? Little bit. It'll take its time, but it's fine. Yeah, so we'll come back and we've got more juice. Right, so the liquid didn't want to come out of the cherry pulp, which is a bit of a pain in the arse after I'd poured it all together. So what I did was I had to refreeze it to get the water to come out of it, and then defrosted it, which is a bit of a pain. But as you can see, all that water has come out of the cherry juice, and it's coloured it and it's flavoured it. I haven't tasted it yet, so it's alright. It's more colour than flavour, so that's fine. So what we'll do is we will squeeze the rest of the juice out of that. There's not much pulp left in there, but it's crystal, it's clear, and then we'll put it in the pan, and we'll juice that down to evaporate off some of the liquid, and we'll concentrate any flavour in there and any kind of colour in there as well. And then we'll add the other cherry juice to it, and then we'll kind of see how it kind of tastes and what kind of flavours, how intensified flavour it is, and then if we think we need to reduce it, the virgin cherry juice down as well, and then we'll add some sugar to it, maybe add some lemon, and we'll make a cordial out of it. But pretty straightforward. Just reduce, heat it, and then evaporate off some of the liquid to intensify things. Right, so the juice from the second squeezing is probably a better word, from the second squeezing has been reduced, and as you can see, it's thickened up and it's gone nice and shiny. It's kind of quite intensely flavoured. Oh, it's thickened up because of the natural sugars in it, not because I've added any sugar. So I have tasted it, we'll just taste it again. So it's intensified. It's not cherry. That tastes really kind of quite cherry. There's about 380 grams of the first squeezing of the cherry, and I don't know what there is of that, but it's cold and it's gone slightly thick. That's why it's thickened up, because it's gone cold. So what we're going to do is, I think it'll benefit from just being reduced slightly, just to intensify the flavour. So we will. I think ordinarily, doing the second squeezing is a bit of faff, probably a waste of time. But because I like faffing and I've got a bit of time to, and I'm always curious, that's how I'm justifying doing things like that. I think ordinarily I'd just do the first squeezing, but I always just kind of go the whole hog with things and go a little bit over the top. So the second squeezing. So we'll add that to that. We'll reduce. I think it's going to benefit from reducing down, and then we'll kind of see what kind of intensify it a little bit. I might as well crack on. Instead of waffling, we might as well have it reducing down. So we'll reduce it down. It'll intensify some of the cherry flavours, and then we can retaste it, and then we'll weigh how much reduced juice there is. Juiced there is, and then we'll be adding about 100 grams worth of just normal sugar. That type of sugar. I'm not going to put any brown sugar in or molasses or anything like that, because that'll kind of sugar's just sweet. There's no kind of flavour to it. Whereas you start adding brown sugar or molasses or anything like that, it's just it's a different kind of flavour profile. And what we really want to do is we just want the cherry flavour to make the cordial. It might need, might as well leave that there. It might need a little bit of acidity, which will be in the form of a bit of lemon. Hopefully I've got some lemon. Ooh, and sneeze as well. Yeah, I've got some lemon. So, if it needs a little bit of acidity, because darker fruits like that sometimes need a little bit of acidity, we'll just put a bit of lemon juice in, and then that'll cut the sweetness and kind of bring out some of the cherry kind of flavours. But anyway, so we'll just reduce that a little bit. We'll see what kind of yield we get, and then we'll work out how much sugar to add. So it's not kind of a precise recipe, sorry, more of a method rather than anything else. I think that's about as much as reduced as I want to make it. So let's wait and see how much we've got in. I'll have to do it off camera because my it's not, scales need to be on a flat surface, and that's not just flat enough. So I'll have to wait just over here and see how much we've got. Oh, that's alright. So 325. So that so if it's 250, my calculation's going to be off. I need my calculator. Hang on. Right, so quick calculation. For 325 grams worth of juice, we need 130 grams worth of sugar. So, got something dry that I've put sugar in. Is that dry? Fingers crossed. So, I don't like my cordials too sweet. Certainly if I'm going to be putting it in something like a tonic water or a fizzy water, I don't like things too sweet. So it wouldn't be as sweet as something you could buy from the like a branded cordial. I just want it less than sweet than that. So spoon, give it a stir, and then we'll give it a taste. So, and because it's not as sweet as, and it's made with all fresh ingredients, it's just not going to keep as long in the cupboard, and ideally you need to keep it in the fridge to just stop it from fermenting. Although if you wanted to ferment it, turn it into alcohol, you could do that. That'd be kind of quite interesting. That's something we might do in the future. I have fermented things in the past. It's kind of quite interesting, collecting your own yeast and making things like mead and ginger beer and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of quite interesting to say the least. So that sugar's almost melted. That can live in there. Give it a taste. Does it need any citrus in it? Ooh, that's nice. But it just needs a little bit of lemon. So I reckon just half a lemon to lift it. Well, we'll put maybe a quarter worth of lemon with lemon juice in. Try not to get any seeds in. Give it a stir. I mean, it's a faff to make things like this, if I'm honest. Certainly when you can just buy things from the shop, but it's interesting. Oh, it's really nice as that. Just a little bit more lemon, so I reckon half a lemon. And that's going to make a beautiful cordial, is that? So yeah, so I don't like things too sweet. So if I'm going to make something like a buy some cheap sparkling wine and put a little bit of cordial in it, or some fancy tonic and put some cordial in it as a bit of a treat on a Saturday night, then I don't like it too sweet. I like it quite refreshing. So will we be able to pour it into there in one go? There we go. It's fine. It'll be sterile enough for that jar. I'm not too bothered about it. It's going to live in the fridge. And it's on for me. So, give it a swish around. Cool it overnight. I'll let it cool down. And then we'll have a look at it and we'll pour it into some water, see how it tastes. And then it should be kind of quite nice. But the basic recipe is, well, you just need to intensify the flavour. Because what you're going to do, you can't just take like a juice that you're going to drink and just add sugar to that and turn it into a cordial. You need to intensify that flavour by evaporating off some of the liquid. So it intensifies that flavour, and then what you then you can add other liquid to it of your choosing. So you can add water to it and kind of make a cordial that way, but you can add sparkling water to it, or a nice tonic, or a soda water, or put it into some cava or some prosecco or some sparkling wine or something like that. So that's kind of the idea of it, or in cocktails or in something like that. If you want to make cocktails and you want some cordial in them, just to kind of lift the flavour or add a little bit to it, that's kind of what you do. But anyway, there we go. We'll see what it's like tomorrow when it's cooled. Right, so cordial has cooled down. As you can see, thickened up, looking nice and shiny, nice and clear. It's got a little bit of bubbles on top, but that's fine. No fizzy water today, or fancy tonic. It's I haven't been chopping it, so just a little bit of that in there, and then just some ordinary water, and we'll see how it tastes. I can imagine it's going to be very nice. That's delicious. I think that's the best one yet. Yeah, if that was in, if I'd actually made this after I'd been to the supermarket and bought some fancy tonic for the weekend, that would be the winner by far. Of all the cordials that I've made, that would be the winner. The cherry one. That's interesting. It might be down to the kind of dark fruits in it. Like the dark, cherries are kind of like a richer flavour than other kind of fruits, so there's more kind of depth than say a strawberry or a raspberry. Like blackberries as well. Cherries, blackberries. Blueberry, the blueberry one was nice, but not just as nice as that. Might try and get my hands on some what were they? Not red currants. The stuff they make Ribena out of. Is it red currants? No, there's no cranberries. Is it red currants? I don't know. I can't remember. I'll look into maybe getting some of those and see if we can make some of that. It's not just as crystal clear as the other cordials, but it certainly makes up for it in flavour. There you go. That is delicious.